International has run a survey of the CEOs of PNG's largest companies. And the goal is to try and get a gauge of business confidence in PNG from the perspective of the larger employers, the companies that actually can make a significant difference with their investment in the country. So we've been going for 4 years, which is interesting. We're starting to build a picture over time of how that confidence is changing and subtly. It's a representative sample. We don't always have 100 companies in the sample, but it's always a representative sample. And when I say representative, I mean we make sure we cover all the major sectors of the economy in that survey: mining, petroleum, agriculture, manufacturing, construction, retail, and so on. So the first thing we did is ask people how they went with their profit expectations in 2014, last year. And these are the responses. Looking back on your business's performance, did profits greatly exceed expectations, slightly exceed them, meet them, fall slightly short, or fall substantially short? And you can see from here that 44% of respondents reported profits that were actually lower than expectations, which is a similar figure to the year before, suggesting that there is some kind of, well, as we know, that reflects the downturn in the economy. While some companies saw an improved profit situation in 2014, fewer CEOs reported profits ahead of expectations. Just 20%, that's the yellow and the blue, reported profits exceeding expectations. The previous year, that figure had been 37.5, so almost double. So it almost halved in 1 year.
36%.
The other interesting thing is that only 36%, just over a third of CEOs told us profits had actually met expectations during 2014. And that was actually the highest figure in the 4 years of our survey. I don't know what that says about financial planning in Papua New Guinea or how hard it is to manage expectations. Next question we asked them is, okay, how are profits going to be for 2015? So obviously this is asking them to predict into the future. And while there were some disappointments in 2014, there was a good deal of confidence that 2015 was going to be an improved situation. Some 56% of respondents said they expected profits to be higher in 2015, which was up from 43% the previous year. This is a similar level of business confidence to the survey we held back in 2012, just before the post-PLNG LNG construction slump hit Papua New Guinea. Meanwhile, the number of CEOs expecting a drop in profits has not been lower since our survey began in 2012. Just 8% expected profits to fall in 2015 compared to 22% the year before. How much a business intends to invest and how many people it intends to employ are clearly two other useful indicators of their confidence in economic conditions. And our survey indicated that there will be more business investment by Papua New Guinea's larger companies in 2015 than it was the previous year. Here's the result. Just over half of respondents said they were planning to increase their investment in plant, equipment and other assets this year, which is up from 40% the year before. However, there still remains some budget trimming, with some 32% saying they plan to reduce investment, which is a similar figure to the year before. Jobs. What level of recruitment are you planning for 2015? Last year, almost 30% said they were planning to cut their workforce. That was for last year's survey. This year's survey, just 12% said the same thing. Indeed, some 60% of CEOs told us they were planning to increase their headcount this year, about double the number in last year's survey, and the biggest number across the 4 surveys we've conducted so far. If those plans become reality, that's good news for PNG's job seekers. The last question we ask, and this is always one that causes the most conversation during the survey, is what are the critical issues facing your business right now? And these are the top-rated issues based on our survey of PNG's largest companies. From the top, security, law and order, unreliable utilities, lack of government capacity, currency exchange rates, which is an issue that probably a couple of surveys ago wasn't such a big issue at all, shortage of expertise, skills, higher employment costs, corruption, high real estate rental costs, government red tape, competition, logistics, and there was a number of other responses too. Now that survey, we ask it every year, and that list of issues doesn't necessarily go away, although the weighting for each different issues does change from year to year. The top issue has changed each year in our survey. In 2012, at the peak of the PNG LNG construction boom, it was the skills shortage. A year later, in 2013, it was the security and law and order situation. In 2014, with its greater focus on productivity, the top concern was unreliable state utilities. This year, security and law and order is back as the top issue facing business, suggesting PNG's leading companies are not seeing progress on this critical issue. Unreliable utilities, while this year's second top issue, is seen as marginally less critical in this year's survey. The score is lower than it was the year before. Meanwhile, a lack of government capacity to deliver services and implement policy has risen in the perception of our CEOs and is now third on our critical issues list. That's gone up from 6th last year, so it's really risen quite a lot. We'll start the process of next year's survey in November this year, and the survey will run until February next year. And I hope very much next year's event we'll be able to reproduce the results of that survey. And over time, as I said, build a really interesting picture of business confidence and investment planning and employment planning for the PNG economy.